Okay, so your problem is Genshin Impact is a dog shit game. So Wuthering Waves is automatically going to be a dog shit game.
What?
Is that what he's trying to say? Dear diamonds and fellow diamonds in the rough. This man Blood Fox talking some why Wuthering Waves will eventually fail. 207 dislikes, 30 likes. I mean, there's some likes at least. I mean, it should be doing the opposite. Like ratios should be 80% and anyway, what the fuck could he have said to deserve this dislike ratio is something we're about to find out. I stream most days on Twitch, links are in the description.
And with that being said,
I don't think Wuthering Waves will be dead on arrival, but I think it will eventually fail, and that's due to a few recurring themes that have already happened with games before.
Okay, so he's starting off strong. Isn't that every game ever? Isn't that every game ever? Yeah, there's gonna be some form of falling off, especially in dead patches, dead seasons. Some players move on, especially that's the nature of gacha gamers. They're typically not loyal. They just, you know, play the game real quick, done, and they just leave. That's typically how gacha gamers work. Fortnite, for example, that shit was big, but it's still big, but it definitely not as big as it used to, right? So typically games go on a downtrend. It's a slow downtrend is what we hope for, but they're never like in a quick downtrend. If it's in a quick downtrend like Tower Fantasy, it means the game is bad. If it's a slow downtrend, well, that's normal. That's very normal. Like they just go up and down. That shit goes like stocks. I feel like it's the normal, natural flow of a good game.
It's just not something I am knowledgeable in because I'm not really going to be talking about anything pertaining to the game itself or the mechanics, etc. As it's just not something I am knowledgeable in because I do not.
Then why are you even talking about it? Okay, I started talking about the game when I did some research about the game. So why are you talking about some shit you don't even know anything about? I'm confused. Okay, let's see.
Care for playing the game. I know that.
Okay, so you do not care about playing the game, but you're still shit talking. Okay.
What?
Sounds harsh, but well, I'll state why. Firstly,
okay,
when it comes to Genshin Impact, I promise you, I'm no sympathizer. I really do not like this
game. Okay, so we are confirming he is not a min picker. Good.
Game. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Genshin Impact was the first of its kind, after all. Not only that, but it had the COVID buff and has a pretty big player base. This leads into the first reason why I think Wuthering Waves will eventually fail. When you try to make a game that rivals something of reference, it does not work out in the long run.
Okay, just so that we're clear, Wuthering Waves is not trying to rival Genshin specifically, it's trying to absorb some of its player base just to become its own thing and go from there. That's literally what it's trying to do. I highly doubt they're trying mad hard to rival Genshin. The game is obviously okay, if you did a little bit of research about the mechanics of Wuthering Waves, you would have quickly understood that the game encourages certain mechanics and certain play styles that Genshin Impact don't particularly have. Yes, they have some feel-good characters like Genshin for the Genshin player base that they are trying to absorb to have and like can have an easier time in Wuthering Waves, but Wuthering Waves is not a feel good type game like Genshin is. I mean, enemies attack fast, enemies do mass damage. It's not like Genshin where a villager needs 10 hours to pick up a rock from the ground and be like, I'm about to throw you. Hey, dodge, man. Throw that shit. Trash. It's not the same, man. So this is what I would say lack of research due to arguments, I'd say.
Wuthering Waves will fail because it is trying to be like a new Genshin, and it won't work. The same way in how some new MMOs tried to be the new...
It's not trying to be a new Genshin, it's trying to be a different Genshin, okay? A different Genshin in the sense of, okay, we have certain things that players in Genshin that we are trying to absorb the pool from because it's a big pool of players that is literally there for the taking. Why not? So they can find some familiarity in our game, but it's not as vibrant, it's not as colorful. I would say it's not as waifu-y as freaking Genshin Impact. I feel like the game's themes, even like how it looks, it just feels really different than Genshin. But there are similarities and inspirations from Genshin, do not misunderstand, please. But what that creates is a good thing. Like, yeah, go for it. Like, yeah, do that shit. Just do that shit. I mean, you see it in YouTube, like people in YouTube. Okay, like, okay, I'm reacting to some guy right now talking about a gacha game. Well, that's Tectone. Tectone does that shit. Okay, I do the same thing he did. It's a little different because I'm a different person than him, but it's the same shit. So if am I trying to beat Tectone here? Oh, I should be the only motherfucker getting praised because I make the best reacts. No. It's a different way of doing things that some people can enjoy and some people don't. And that's okay. People can now have the option to choose to either play Wuthering Waves, play Genshin, etc. I don't think Wuthering Waves is trying to beat Genshin. Wuthering Waves is simply trying to capitalize on Genshin's success and work itself from there. That's literally what it's trying to do. It's not trying to beat it. It's not being advertised like those dumbasses on Tower of Fantasy. Oh, the new Genshin killer. No. We're Wuthering Waves. Yes, we share some shit with Genshin Impact, but that's as far as our asses go. You remember that game you love to play? Well, there's some aspects here too, but it's different. Here you go, play it. You're not like a baby first thrown in the water. No, you have some knowledge. You feel like you're already mechanically able to play this game. It's meant to be a competitor. Ever heard of Counter-Strike/Valorant, League of Legends, and Dota 2? They are meant to compete in the market and fill out the market for the consumers that desire something different. Exactly. Well, okay, so if that's the case, how can Counter-Strike, Valorant coexist? League of Legends and Dota coexist? Yes, you hear a lot of more League of Legends than Dota. Yes, one will always be better than the other. But that doesn't mean the other one will just fail and die. That's just not how things work.
Wuthering Waves will fail because it is trying to be like a new Genshin, and it won't work. The same way in how some new MMOs tried to be the new World of Warcraft, and it doesn't work. Even Final Fantasy XIV was initially trying to be like WoW, but they realized that if they just do their own thing, they will have more success. It's the same thing with Black Desert Online. Nothing can rival it in terms of its battle mechanics, and games that try, fail.
Okay.
Tower of Fantasy is another example of another Genshin clone that, although wasn't dead on arrival, did eventually die pretty badly.
Okay, Tower of Fantasy, I'm glad he brought this up. Tower of Fantasy was advertised as a Genshin clone, but it wasn't a Genshin clone. I played the game for quite some time, and I can tell you this much. There are mechanical similarities in some shape or form in Tower of Fantasy resembling Genshin, but it's not like it. It's not like it. Like, it's totally different. Like, it's an MMORPG. That's literally what it's trying to be. Don't think Tower of Fantasy. Okay, let's go with it. Tower of Fantasy advertised itself as the Genshin killer, and that's kind of what ruined it. But ultimately, it was different than Genshin. It's just that Tower of Fantasy did a terrible job in their game. That shit was trash. That's all that happened. If Kuro Games can do a good job in their game, well, it doesn't matter. I think they can just capitalize on us, the Genshin fans. We're looking for something different, like Chromalia said earlier. Yes, we would love a new game in the market for us, the players, to have. Like, why not? I get to choose whether to play Genshin or that one. It's like, why not? Let me choose. Let me play both if I want to. Shit, I don't have enough resin in goddamn Genshin. Let me go to Wuthering Waves and level shit too. Why not, right? So games can coexist just like you can have a McDonald's be close to a Burger King. Both can coexist. Yes, it's competition between the two, but both can coexist. And sometimes, because a restaurant is full, they can be like, oh, okay, you know what? I've eaten a lot of McDonald's. Let me try Burger King this time. Like, the flavors or taste is different. Let me try it this time here, so to speak. It's not the perfect example, but you see what I'm trying to say. Changing taste, scenery, all that feels good.
The only thing that will kill Genshin is Genshin Impact itself.
We all know that. We all know that. And again, it's not trying to kill Genshin. It's trying to drink from its milkshake.
I personally don't really have any interest in playing a game that has the same foundation as Genshin Impact because I think it's a boring dogshit game.
Okay, so your problem is Genshin Impact is a dogshit game, so Wuthering Waves is automatically gonna be a dogshit game. Is that what he's trying to say? So bro thinks Genshin is a dogshit game, and the fact that Wuthering Waves is trying to take inspiration from it, automatically Wuthering Waves bad. So did I get that right? I don't understand it. It's like, why are you talking shit if you already dislike Genshin? So your problem is with Genshin, not Wuthering Waves specifically. I mean, hey, this is what the streets are talking about right now, and that's where the view's at. Hey, you do you. I'm not gonna judge you. But the problem still remains that Wuthering Waves is innocent. Like, you have a problem with Genshin, not Wuthering Waves. Why are you coming after her, man? Wuthering Waves is literally looking at you right now going,
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
Don't tell blood about fighting game genre. Mortal Kombat, Super Smash Bros, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like those two, also there's a lot of competition, but all can exist. Coexist, sorry. You can't say Wuthering Waves will fail because Genshin is already doing it better and Genshin is dog shit. I mean, hey, if Genshin is still doing okay, I'm pretty sure Wuthering Waves can do all right. It should be fine, just fine. Like, don't forget, these companies don't need too much money to keep things flowing. Like, if they make like what, $10 million a month, they're still cooking. Like, they're still doing good.
Create a game from your own vision, and that's not to say you can't have inspirations or anything when designing a game, but your foundational gameplay can't be that similar either.
They're not. They're not. Do research. You're sounding stupid. They're not. There are similarities in mechanics, but they're not. There's parrying. There's perfect dodging. There is no fucking elemental reaction. What do you mean? It's like, oh, combat cannot be the same. Characters having weapons can't be the same. What are you trying to say?
Now, there will absolutely be people that don't mind the similarity for these kinds of games, which I actually do think is their target audience, are folks that like and love Genshin Impact.
Yes.
However, when you don't succeed in toppling something, you get crushed.
They're not trying to topple it. They're just trying to capitalize on its success and absorb some of those. All right. Normally, gacha would be expensive to keep going, but open world are freaking expensive. Oh, well, I guess then Wuthering Waves is gonna gotta step its game up.
I know it sounds like I am being unfair to this game, but I am just trying to have a realistic outlook on it, given what has happened in gaming history as of recent. It'll probably have a good few months, but I don't think it'll last. And if it does, hey, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong.
Okay, so the game cannot last a few months unless Kuro Games literally fumbles the bag, where the game is as unplayable as Tower of Fantasy was, where there's so many bugs and so much trash. Yes, I can agree with you there. And hell, some might say, well, actually, Tower of Fantasy is still alive. Well, yes, in a way, it's still there. Some people still enjoy the game, but it's not as popular as where it was back in the day, okay? That's why it's called a failed game, okay? Doesn't mean it's dead. It just means it failed, all right? Now, unless that happens, I don't see TOF as a success. Why? It's barely in the gacha revenue. We barely see it. It's suffering so much. I don't think it's a success. It's a game. It's there, but it's not a success. I don't think you can give it the term success. Genshin was a massive success. Punishing Grey Raven, it's a game. It's an okay game. It's right over there. Wuthering Waves, it might be a success. If a game makes more money than it took to make it, it's a success. You're missing the point, Damon. You're missing the point. These games are a long-term investment, all right? Yes, you made your money back. You broke even. Cool. But you're leaving a lot of money on the table on the potential you could have got by having new characters being in the game and people buying those characters up. That's more money for you, hence the term success in gacha. In gacha space, the term success is not the same as, say, AAA titles, etc. It is not the same. Gacha wants you to spend money. They want to have this constant loop, this cycle of they release a character, you buy those characters, money flow. It's a business. That's literally what a gacha game is. So no, because in normal terms, you're right. In normal terms, you are correct. Say, for example, The Witcher 3. That is a massive success. Even if it disappeared now, but everybody enjoyed it, everybody loved it, it's done. Wash hands, they made millions of dollars, done. The game is over. But it's gacha? No. Gacha is a machine, man. It's a money printing machine. That's what a success is in gacha games.
It's not like I want this game to fail, because for what
sounds like you do.
I actually do think the character designs in Wuthering Waves.
Okay, so hold on. So you don't care about the game. You didn't even look. Okay, so you didn't even look at the mechanics of the game. You didn't do much research about the game. You hate Genshin, the very game this game is inspired from. You're talking all this shit, but you don't want this game to fail. Can you guys see it? Because I have a hard time seeing it. Could it be the case? Could it be the case? I mean, is this for views? Okay, if it's just for views and like this is the hot topic and you just want to like come in strong, sure, but I don't really see what you're trying to say, man.
Much better than Genshin's. especially in the main character department.
That is true.
Just
Ether
let me
Numi
praise
sucks.
female MC for Wuthering Waves for a little bit, because goddamn, that design and appearance got me acting up a little bit type shit.
Is this Tao? Where the fuck did that come from? Wait, this is Tao. Oh, this is Tao. This is his second account.
Damn, that design and appearance got me acting up a little bit type.
Why would you do that? This is so bad. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god, that oiled up model, man. I swear these VTuber models, they got me acting up, man. Oh my god.
Shut up. Shut up.
If you're going to create a game that is already an established genre, you really need to innovate. A good example of this, as I'm going to assume, mostly gacha.
They are innovating.
Watching this is
okay, so yo, chat. Type 1 if you think Kuro Games is innovating off Genshin Impact and they're adding new mechanics that are different and innovative. Type 2 if you think it's the same old shit. I don't think I've ever seen more ones in my life. Yeah, my chat typically always has some dude typing 2 randomly. It's like, oh, actually, wow, this is just pure 1. Even Magic, a Genshin lover, is just like, see, there he is, surfing the blue. I was waiting for you, man. Someone's got to pull up going 2.
You really need to innovate. A good example of this, as I'm going to assume most gacha players will be watching this, is Honkai Star Rail. There are hundreds upon hundreds of turn-based games, and while it is a heavily nuanced and saturated genre within role-playing games, it has things that a lot of other turn-based games didn't have due to its nature of being a gacha game as well. You get
That's literally what Kuro Games is doing with Wuthering Waves in comparison to Genshin. You just literally said what's happening.
Consistent new characters, new story added consistently, extra content, really likable characters, an interesting story to follow, and the list could go on.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I could be wrong about Wuthering Waves, because I don't actually know what sorts of things are in the game completely. This is just me giving my opinion off what I know from playing Genshin Impact.
What the fuck are you talking about? Then why are you talking? What do you mean? You're basing your whole argument on Genshin, on what happened with Genshin. You're judging a new type of Genshin Impact based on just Genshin without taking any consideration to look for the new changes that Wuthering Waves is offering. And I feel like I'm already getting tired of... You're making me weak, bruh. You're making me weak.
Similar to Wuthering Waves, Genshin players were really against Honkai Star Rail. A lot of people did not think it would succeed and really disliked the fact that it was turn-based.
Yeah.
Look at it today, and, well, I would say it's definitely one of the best gacha games easily out currently.
Yeah.
Now, this could have the same effect as Honkai Star Rail, where people think it's going to fail, but then it actually succeeds. Currently, Wuthering Waves has millions of pre-registrations, but I don't really view this as a reliable metric, as a lot of people were not...
Yeah, it's like Tower Fantasy, sure.
Content creators and may just want to try the game out for a bit.
Yeah.
On top of that, some players might just eventually drop the game because there are other games they deem more important. They've already invested a lot in
that's typical gacha game, or sure.
Obviously, a whale is just going to whale. That goes without saying. But a vast majority of people do not have that kind of money. So in turn, it circles back to people that are free to play or spend where they can.
Yeah, those keep your game alive.
Play Wuthering Waves free to play, just to play it and have no expectations. But in the long run, I don't really see it panning out well for this game. So, what do you guys think will happen to this game?
I think you're crazy. I think what the fuck were you cooking here, man? Who let you cook?
Do you think I'm being a negative Nancy?
Yes.
Or do you think Wuthering Waves will find success?
I think it will find good success as long as they don't fumble the bag. Let's make one thing clear. As long as they don't fumble the... Man, Baiji looks so goddamn good, I swear. As long as they don't fumble the bag, they're gonna be just fine.
Thoughts down below in the comment section. Let's talk about it. And hey, if you didn't like the vid, feel free to dislike it as well. But it is what it is.
People did dislike it, man.
I'll see you guys in the next vid. Have a nice day.
Yo, Blood Fox, before talking, it's always good to do some level of research. Before I talked about Verena, I tried to talk to as much people as I could, and that's when I actually covered it right here. It's slow. I'm not going to get as much views because I'm not early on it, but it is what it is, man. Like, it's okay. Do your research. Take your time to bring in good arguments and good freaking points that people can look at and go, well, actually, that's pretty good. I didn't even think about it like that. But all you're doing here is just a bunch of doom posting, a bunch of, oh, I think because Genshin sucks, this game is automatically gonna suck. That's basically your whole argument. And that's a terrible argument. Ultimately, Genshin is still doing okay, considering what they're trying to do. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Let's not even sit here and act like Genshin is not doing what they're trying to do. They're lazy, they don't want to do shit, and they still have people that are okay with them doing that type of shit. So yeah, that is what they're doing. They're still getting it. For Wuthering Waves, we're gonna see what they do. We're gonna be there. Only time will tell. I know I don't know anything about the game. I also won't play it, but I basically hope it dies. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Same. Yeah, except for I never say I hope it dies. Don't put words in my mouth. But you are! Oh, I'm not gonna date this bitch because all women are gold diggers. That's why I'm not gonna date this woman. I'm not gonna give this woman a chance because all women are gold diggers. I'm not gonna give this game a chance because Genshin Impact sucks. That's why. All Genshin clones sucks. Genshin sucks, and of course, all its clones are gonna suck.
Know your fucking place, trash.
I did it a gold digger once. All women are gold diggers.
I'm so sick of this fucking company. They're trash!
To keep up with everything that's happening in the gacha streets, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. See ya.